Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general reading for the sign of Pisces, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the month of July. I hope you're well. I'm using the Tarot of the Abyss for you today. Somebody on Instagram requested that I did it for the next Pisces reading, so I am very pleased to oblige. Sorry, I can't remember the handle of who it was. Right. So... the card that's just flipped in the deck there is the High Priestess. You were obviously meant to have this deck for today. So can I have 3 cards for Pisces, please? Oh, there's the first one. Good Lord. In your recent past, we have the Sun, Leo energy, always present with you, Pisces. One day, I will work out what it is that connects Leo and Pisces, but as yet I haven't done it. Can I have the present energy for Pisces, please? Ooh, there it is. We have the Knight of Pentacles. Right, Virgo energy there. Something dropped on the floor down here too. Ooh, strength. I'm not talking about fucking Leo, and there it is again. What's coming towards Pisces for July, please? We have 2. We have Justice and we have the 7 of Swords. The Strength card is now at the bottom of the deck, but interestingly, beneath that is the Devil and the Wheel of Fortune. I think this is going to be quite an interesting month for you. I think I would just put the Strength card on the bottom of the deck, but I put the Strength card on the bottom of the deck, so I think that it needs to be paid attention to. Like I said, it is that Leo energy, but it is an energy of spiritual growth and also of empowerment. It's an energy of having the strength to negotiate what comes, you know, whatever comes next. Learned and lived experience. And underneath we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Devil. Now, the Devil is the card of Capricorn. You may or may not be dealing with a Capricorn. But it's also one that speaks of deep-seated fears, of the things that we find ourselves attached to, you know, without even realizing necessarily that we are attached to them. The fact that it has come up with the Wheel of Fortune is very, very interesting, because for me the Wheel of Fortune is, it's a card of learning something really fundamental and important, you know. And as I'm looking at this Wheel of Fortune here, look at it. It's exquisite. But there's something really Piscean about that energy, right? About what is being held in your hand in front of you. And I'm trying to think what it reminds me of. It's the High Priestess card in another deck, and it's not quite coming to mind which one it is. I can sort of see it and sort of not. But either way, it has Piscean overtones, for sure. It might be a test of your resolve, Pisces. But let's get some clarifiers and see what's going on, because I actually quite like the cards that are out here for you. Which deck? We're going to go with the Knight's one to clarify. I'll give those a quick shuffle too. So, let's see why the Sun is here for Pisces, please. We have the Hermit. And we have the Queen of Wands. We have the Knight, why is the Knight of Pentacles here, please? And we have the Devil again. I'm not taking all of those, it's like 6 cards there, that's ridiculous. Get back in there. Shuffle them back in. Why is the Knight of Pentacles here? We have the 3 of Pentacles in reverse and we have the 7 of Wands. And what about the Justice card with the 7 of Swords, please? Oh. We have the 10 of Pentacles. Oh, fuck's sake, there's loads. No, I'm not taking another 5 cards. Seven of Swords, thank you. We have the 5 of Cups. And we have the Ace of Cups, right. We have the Emperor at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, I'm getting a definite vibe here. Right, so let us start at the beginning. Obviously, we have the Sun. The Sun is a beautiful card. It's the card of Leo, and it is the card of absolute pure joy. And Pisces, I do think that the changes that you have made to your existence of late, right, which may or may not involve a Leo, right? I'm a Leo, so I have to assume that we're involved somewhere, right? It's a card of joy. It's a card of vulnerability, but it's a card of glorious positivity. You know, it's like the sun is shining on your life. You know, it's that feeling of sitting in a warm sunbeam, you know, and just you feel everything kind of lifting, you know, the different quality of light that there is when the sun is really beaming down on things. But I love the fact that there are things growing all around this. Like Pisces, I feel like you really getting a chance to get out in nature. It's funny how this has been drawn. There are plants coming up from the sun, okay? And obviously they need the warmth of the sun to do that. But at the top there's a lemniscate, which we normally only see on the Magician card or on the Strength card, right? It's the infinity symbol, like the 8 on its side. And it's just things going on forever. You know, it's a sense of connection to something. And so I do think that you are spending more time out in nature. I think that you're spending time around plants. I think you're spending time around animals. And I think it's bringing you some extraordinary peace. And there's a path in front of you that seems to have been paved with the intention of filling your life with even more of these things. Now, like Pisces has been changing their life quite a lot of late, right? There's been big moves, you know, geographically. We've seen Pisces moving close to water. I saw that in one of the other readings. There was water everywhere, and that was very, very nice. But even if you have not transplanted yourself, it's like there's a new layer of life that's been opened up to you, and it is one that is it's kind of like you finally accepting that there is a bit of yourself that doesn't actually really want to be around people that much, right? And kind of honouring that, right? We've spoken at length about how there's been a big journey towards a sense of self for Pisces. A little less about everybody else and a little bit more about what you want. And there have been points where people have tried to sway you away from, you know, where you have been trying to go, because you have been pulling away from them rather than being the emotional prop for everyone. Kind of like, oh, actually take some of that energy back and put it into me. After all, I am the universe experiencing itself. I am a spirit having a human existence, and it needs to be my existence, not everyone else's. Yeah. And I laughed when this came out because it was the Hermit. It's speaking of not really wanting to spend that much time around people. Exactly. You know, you're full of the joy of life. You really want to experience life, but it's not about the emotional entitlement of other people. It's about going and fucking just vibing with other things that just want to sit there and vibe, like a tree, or, you know, some birds, or, you know, whatever it is. Just sitting in there and being at peace with yourself. And you know, these changes have been huge for you, and they've been very spiritual in nature. And I think that you recognized that eventually, it may not have felt like it initially. It was just kind of like a pull that wouldn't go away, and one that threw you into conflict with internal conflict with the situation and the environment that you found yourself in at that point. But as you started to work through that, it did feel more and more like it was not just a want, but a need to honour your own personal spiritual path. And it's calling for a different kind of experience than the ones that you've had so far. And the more that people tried to pull you away from that, the stronger your resolve has grown. Right? The stronger your confidence in your own decision has grown. And in some ways, Pisces, you've really bloomed. You discovered a side of yourself that you were probably only really vaguely aware of. But now it's there. Now that you have it, you'll guard it with the fire of 1,000 suns. Like, your patience for other people's bullshit is so gone. It's not even low anymore. It's just gone, Pisces. If there are people that you are still spending time around, then these are people that are worthy of your attention. They are not people who are dependent on you, codependent on you. Interdependence, perfect. We like that, right? That's good. Codependence, no. Straight out dependence, not really about that life either. It's looking for those people that bring value to your life, commensurate with the level of value that you introduce into theirs, right? So things from that perspective going very, very well. Feeling the peace, feeling the joy, feeling the contentment and the conviction that you did the right thing. I think that's good. So then we've moved to this Knight of Pentacles. It's Virgo energy. And it's movement. There's no standing still here really with you. And the movement may not be fast, and it certainly may not be flashy, but it's yours and it's valuable. So you might be chipping away at projects that you've wanted to start for a while, or you may be actually choosing not to do that, instead honouring your solitude, honouring, well, is one ever really alone when one is out in nature? I would say not, but certainly your solitude away from other people. It feels like you are on a path of healing for sure, but more of a kind of rest and recovery, really. Like, the last few months have been pretty epic in terms of the amount of effort that it took from you to stick to your guns about what it is that you wanted for your life. And I just want to keep just releasing that. It feels like there's a lot of releasing going on for you, Pisces. But what we've got down here is, well, fuckery. Let's just put it that way. There's fuckery down here. We've got the Devil, Capricorn energy. We have the Three of Pentacles in reverse, and we have the Seven of Wands. Now, this is someone that you do not want to work with, you do not want to collaborate with, you do not want to be in touch with at all. Somebody who is somebody who feels actually quite energetically violent, not physically violent, but there's something energetically violent about them that makes you feel like you need to defend yourself, right? You're just kind of plodding along and trying to do your thing, and there's this vexatious spirit that's kind of around you here, or very close to incoming. Which is why I said right at the beginning that I felt like your resolve was about to be tested again. I'm going to pull another card out of the Wild Unknown for you. Tell me about this set of cards here, please. Thank you. We've got the Eight of Cups in reverse. Now, this is someone who is either trying to drag you back to where you have left, or this is somebody that disappeared who is reappearing, right? The Eight of Cups is about moving away from a situation. Eight of Cups is returning to it. Thank you. We have the Eight of Wands. Eight, karmic numbers right there. This time it's in the reverse. This is somebody making contact with you, and this is somebody that you absolutely don't want to hear from. Two of Swords. There's a message, or there's some sort of communication coming in that's going to, or is currently leaving you unsure as to how to proceed, right? This is somebody fucking with your peace, Pisces, and I am absolutely irritated on your behalf to have even seen him, right? But let's pull back from this situation, right? Not get lost in the annoyance of the actual interaction, and see why it's here, right? This is kind of looking for the lesson territory for sure, but it feels emotionally manipulative, right? But the issue is not this person. It's not even the emotional manipulation. It's the response in you. Like, it leaves you feeling like you're not quite sure what to do about it. Where your conviction was very strong in a very short period of time ago, here it's like, fuck. Like, it's almost a little bit like you've been outmaneuvered somewhere emotionally, and somebody's got something that they can slap on the table, like their last card, and they're coming back to you to issue it and going, hey, here's some heavy emotional manipulation. And you're like, fucking hell, you know, I just wanted to be left alone to do my own thing and be in peace. You know, I'm just trying to breathe out all of the time. Yeah, we've got the Five of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck now. That is lack, it is loss, it is poverty, or a fear of those things. But we've got the Queen of Pentacles and the Three of Swords coming out here, right? This is an old situation that has wounded, right? This is old pain. You can see that in the sepia tones of the card, right? But then we've got the Queen of Pentacles here. And Queen of Pentacles is all about nurturing, understanding the value of things. What this is saying to me is that this old situation is coming back up. This person is coming in with perhaps a slightly modified version of a standard type of emotionally manipulative behavior that they have engaged in before, to not test you, but to give you an opportunity to flex the muscles that you have been growing, you have been working on, you have been building over these last few months, Pisces. Fucking hell. Like, irritating as shit. Like, that's... It's just made a mess. Right? I'm so cross that it's made a mess. But it's not me being cross that it's made a mess. It's the way that that situation here applies on this. I fucking love tarot. I love all spiritual modalities. When they do shit like this, right? I'm very cross on your behalf that this is here. But the opportunity to flex the muscles is here, and that's great. But it's bringing up something that hasn't been quite dealt with, not been quite released, right? We had the devil show up twice for you here in the cards, like once on the table, once in the shadow cards underneath the deck. There is still a connection to this person. Now, it might even not be a specific person. It might actually be a situation, it might be an old job, something like that, right? Like, don't talk too specific. It's a general reading. The broad picture of this is it's an old person, situation, something that has a connection with you that has not yet been entirely severed. Now, when it's something like that, moving away often isn't the way that you sever a connection, because you are still carrying the emotions that are associated with that with you. The closure point comes here. The severing is here. It doesn't fucking matter what they do. It's about your response to it in here. And your response is so fuck about it, right? That there is something that is still open to manipulation, and like a fucking rat up a drain pipe, this person or this situation has intuited that, and they've gone for the jugular on you. Now, that makes it sound very dramatic. I don't think it's quite as dramatic as that, right? But it's very frustrating. extremely frustrating. Pull back from it and analyze the feelings that are going on here, because it feels like there's some residue here that needs to be dealt with, right? Now, I want you to take heart, because in July, what is coming towards you is the Seven of Swords and Justice, right? Now, the Seven of Swords is that deceitful, manipulative behavior that we were literally just talking about here, right? But the beautiful thing about this is that you have Justice standing right there next to it. Major Arcana trumps Minor Arcana every single time. This is the actions of one solitary person, or, you know, a fucking corporation, fucking HR department, like whatever it is, right? That's very unpleasant energy. That is somebody trying to get in under the radar and kind of snag you again. But the Justice card is so pure. Like, you are watched over, you are protected, and you can facilitate the resolution of this situation by not getting bogged down into, you know, old default modes of doing things. It's like, stop, pull back, consider everything that you have gone through in the last few months, even in the last year or so, right? Year, 2 years, Pisces. Feel the conviction, feel the fire. I mean, this is the point where you can really pull upon that Leo energy that seems to be surrounding you, protecting you, guarding you, working with you, you know, aligning with you, whatever it is. Draw upon that and release your inner lion. Because this shit apparently is not going to fly. According to the universe, it's just not going to fly. But it's not going to resolve itself on its own. Right? So if you have a fear of confrontation, it may well be that you are being required to confront this situation, right? It's about pulling the deep, dark things that you don't realize that you are, you know, attached to, or that you know, shy away from, and kind of getting you to address them. There is growth there, you know, another fucking opportunity for growth. I'm sorry, but here it is, right? I might call this, you might call this video a fog, right? I'm not, because nobody will know what it means. The point is, it's not going to fix itself on its own, which is fine. It's not about the person. It's not even about what they do. It's about what fear, what restriction, you know, it brings up in you, and what you are going to do to resolve that within yourself. Now, we have the Ten of Pentacles, we have the Five of Cups, and we have the Ace of Cups here, and it's a really nice combination, actually. Ten of Pentacles, it talks about material fulfillment, yes. You can talk about your house, you can talk about your business, you can talk about any of those things, but I prefer to see this card as a kind of snapshot. That point where heritage and legacy collide, right? And you are the point in the middle, right? You are that exact point of integration where those things cross over. It's about the here and the now, right? So what you have worked so hard to change about your environment, whether it may be material or whatever, you know, the way that you approach reality, full stop. You know, what was Pisces in 2019 is not Pisces in 2021. What has changed? What has shifted? And what else do you need to do to complete that, right? So that the legacy now is not a concentrated version of Pisces, exactly. So, you know, where it was a bit ephemeral over here, and it was very much given to doing things for other people. Now you've kind of condensed it down somewhat. Now it's more about you, but there are still those other considerations of other people and their energetic needs and all that sort of thing. Rather, it is a full transformation. So this Pisces doesn't exist anymore. This Pisces is trying to come into being, and here you are as that point of revolution, if you will, between the two, the absolute transformation between them. And I think for a lot of you, it's going to involve grief of some description or another. Now, it is possible, entirely possible, fully possible, to experience grief without being bereaved, right? And I think it's really important to understand this, particularly as a Pisces, because you have always been such a sponge for other people's emotions, right? You are the point of processing for other people. So, you know, this is why people have been so incredibly emotionally dependent on you, because that which you bring naturally to the table almost stops them having to do the work, right? Because you just suck it up and you process it, and then you release the light out into the world. Now, that's not your job, Pisces, and you understand that now, right? It's been very difficult for you because you're so naturally compassionate, and you know, you are the culmination of the lessons of the zodiac. You're right there at the end, you know. But in some ways, you're almost too evolved emotionally for where the rest of the fucking planet is, right? You're going to have to give them a bit of a chance to catch up by way of their own work before they can come to a place where they match you and they can mesh with you without draining you, without taking from you, right? So like I said, you can experience grief without bereavement, without that kind of loss. It can be losses of other sorts, and it can be a loss of a sense of self. It can be the realization that you take on the grief of the collective, of the entire fucking planet, and you're processing it all of the time. You know, I think sorry, Pisces, my phone ran out of memory. I had to go and quickly go and delete a load of shit. Right, anyway, I was very good-naturedly ribbing my daughter a while ago. Might have been like last year or something like that. I don't know if any of you have ever seen Rick and Morty, okay? But there's something of my Piscean daughter's like human experience that is very close to being a Mr. Meeseeks, right? If you've never seen Rick and Morty, you should go and have a look. But the whole thing about Mr. Meeseeks is existence is pain, and they try and exist for such a short, you know, as short a time as possible, because it's agony for them to be alive. But they're brought into being to do things for people, and they do them as fast as possible, super efficient, so they can go back to the void, right? Back to just being pure consciousness without having to have a human form. I used to call Mr. Meeseeks. And it's spot on. And there's something of that there with you. You know, you're kind of being called into a world that isn't ready for your level of emotional evolution. And so your path, the reason why you're here in the first fucking place, is to learn to separate yourself until such time as humanity is ready to reach your level. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But within all of that, there's the grief of just existing at times. There's a grief of sitting on a planet where there are so many things that are fucking wrong, you know, and feeling the pain of all of it. It's like this level of sensitivity that you have has come with great cost, and a huge part of that is playing out right here. Yeah. For a lot of signs, their lessons, particularly towards the beginning of the zodiac, their lessons are to be more community minded, to strive for that level of emotional evolution that you have, you know, that which you do so naturally. For those earlier signs, I have no idea about it, right? It's ego or a misunderstanding, you know, of place in the herd, you know, things like that. I'm not going to get into it too much, but this is showing you something that just for now, you need to be able to use the strength of the lion to close down, and close down hard. Because it's manipulative, it's deceitful, and it's not coming from a place of love. Not this person, not this, you know, whatever this situation is that's coming back in at you. Right? You need to be able to pick it up, roll it into a ball, and hoof it into the long grass. You come back when you know how to behave like a proper evolved spirit. But of those 5 cups, we come back down to 1. We come back down to the, you know, The Ace. The pure potential. It's like taking the murky reality of what is and doing that processing thing that you do, Pisces. And instead of murky water, you know, dripping out of it, you've got something beautiful that you can grow flowers in. You know, this is about guarding your energy, but this is showing you where there's a little chink in the armor. Just needs putting back into place, and then you can go back to the sun. You can go back to the trees. You can go back to the water, the animals, you know, whatever it is. Your path is taking a slightly different turn now, Pisces. And being brave and standing up for yourself. I would like to say just maybe one last time, but it probably won't be the last time. Is a really important part of that. Right. If this resonated with you, I'm going to go over to Vimeo now and do an extended. Link is in the description box. I'll readjust my cushion as well. So if you would like to come over there, I would love to see you. If not to worry. Know that I love you all very, very much, and I will see you soon.